Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I want to pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I want to pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Srimad Narayan. I want to welcome Lord Srimad Narayan in his form as Lord Raam, and Mother Lakshmi in her form as Mother Sita, and the Devis and Devtas that took part in the Leela of the Ramayana. The entire Ramayana, all these millions of multiverses is created for one reason only. The initial 100,000 verses of the Ramayana, the current 24,000 verses of the Ramayana, the multiverses that exist in our cosmos, and all things that exist in the material universes is created for one simple reason. And that is the innate nature of the soul, desire and hatred. If the soul did not have qualities of desire and hatred, then there would be no need for material existence. Material existence is fueled by karma. And karma is our actions taken, either righteous or unrighteous, by those who inhabit bodies that are supposed to act humanely. So for two simple qualities, we exist in the material reality. And if these were simple qualities, then we would have negated them successfully. The deception of these qualities are so great that the material universes exist eternally. They exist either in a subtle or a gross form eternally. And to make us take cognizance of this fact, the Supreme Personality of Godhead timelessly incarnates and gives us directions in which we can lose these innate qualities of our souls and rid ourselves of material contamination. To do this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead instructs mankind through various saints and sages. These saints and sages record the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and pass on this information from generation to generation. In Kali Yuga, this information is collated by a partial incarnation of Lord Narayan himself, called Veda Vyas. Veda Vyas is not a person, it is a title. And Veda Vyas, or the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, enacting within this title, collates all of the revealed information from the 3 previous yugas and records them in 4 Vedas. These 4 Vedas are explained in the Puranas and the last portion of all of the Vedas contains 108 Upanishads. These 108 Upanishads give the philosophy of spirituality in all its aspects. A bona fide spiritual master must be well versed in the Upanishads and must have capacity to discourse the Upanishads and the relevant verses, break the verses down so that man can utilize these verses in a simplified version and live the life on a divine path. So many questions are asked timelessly since time immemorial, and Veda Vyas himself asked and answered these questions in a scripture called the Vedanta Sutra. The Vedanta Sutras are questions that seem contradictory and has to be explained through a self and God realized spiritual master. The Brahma Sutras was given commentary by Acharya in the year 800 AD and by Lord Sri Ramanuj in the year 1008. Lord Sri Ramanuj in his Sri Bhasya of the Vedanta Sutra negated the commentary of Sri Acharya and became the source of all Vaishnavism. Lord Sri Ramanuj is the Adi Guru of the entire Vaishnava sect, and all the Vaishnava Sampradayas fall under this supreme philosophy of Vishishtadvaita. Vishishtadvaita is the complete Vaishnava principle, and all other Vaishnava principles take one aspect and specialize in that one aspect. I'm going to read quickly a commentary by Lord Sri Ramanuj from the Brahma Sutras, which is relevant to the Ramayana week. Two 3.41. But according to the efforts made by the soul, the Lord makes it act. Thus, only would injunctions and prohibitions, etc., be relevant. So what happens in the Brahma Sutra, which is, I believe, one of the most beautiful aspects of Sanatana Dharma, is that saints and sages will put an opposing view and then correct that opposing view with a Vedic injunction itself. So let's see how it is explained. An objection is raised that if the agency of the soul is dependent on the Lord, scriptural injunctions and prohibitions will be meaningless. This sutra explains the position by refuting this objection. The Lord makes the soul act by granting it permission, taking into consideration the efforts put forth by it, but action is not possible for the soul without this permission of the Lord. Though the Lord's permission is essential, yet the responsibility for the initial volition is the soul's. Hence, injunctions and prohibitions, etc., have a scope. The text, He makes those whom He will raise do good deeds. I want you to listen carefully. The text, He makes those whom He will raise do good deeds. And this is from the Kaustika Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 8. What does that mean? The text, open quotation marks, He makes those whom He will raise do good deeds. Who is He? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who He raises those who do good deeds. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sriman Narayan, raises those who do good deeds. What does deeds mean? Actions. What does action mean? Seva. So those that do seva, God will raise you. Those that perform seva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will raise you. What are the types of seva that one can do? Different types of seva. Yes, types. How do you serve? Through action. Through action, donations, and performing menial tasks. Actions is karma yoga, donations, and donations as per chapter 18 of the Bhagavad Gita regulates that a donation must be made to the right person at the right place and the right time. Right person, right place, right time. Who is the right person? Right person will be your guru. Right place would be your satsang. Right time would be in time of need, either to further the aims of humanity in the surrounding or to uplift your internal institution. So a bona fide spiritual master has the right to ask you for donations, to ask you to perform menial tasks, and to ask you to perform action in the satsang. If you do not perform action, if you do not contribute via donations, and if you do not contribute menially in the institution, then God won't raise you. God won't raise you. And this is the reason Lord Ram took his birth, to show under the guidance of his guru, he performed all three actions that I said. He performed all three actions so that humankind, in reading the Ramayana, would follow the Supreme Personality of Godhead in performing seva. So performance of seva, the request for contributing to the institution that you say you belong to as a member, and getting involved in various activities within that institution is scripturally absolute. Those that have a problem with any of these instructions are against the scriptural injunctions as spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Bhagavad Gita states clearly that if anyone contests the scriptural injunctions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he or she is a demon. He or she is a demon. So whatever requests that are made by a bona fide spiritual master must be adhered to in its totality. I'll give you an example. Since mid-January, today was the first day I took a rest. Since mid-January, today was the first day that I took a rest. 2 days ago, my body failed me, and I had to have Vasudeva Ramanuj Das massage my body. Last week, I collapsed in this hall, and Chris had to assist me. And last week itself, I collapsed on our business site whilst crossing the river, because the body could not handle it. But being a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of God, Srimad Narayan, we do not care what the body can handle or what the body cannot handle. There are many days that I forget to eat because there is no time to think of food. I get up at 4 every morning and I start picking up workers for the business side, coming back to ashram, buying things for the ashram, buying things for the business, and the entire day goes. And it's at night that I realize I have not eaten today. And this has been going on for the past 3 months. This very hall that we are sitting in had many walls that had to be broken. And we broke them 1 brick at a time. We cleaned up those bricks. We started this building with broken bricks and 6 bags of cement without a cent in my pocket. However, as we proceeded, we were forced to take a loan. And simultaneously with the loan, I decided to open the business that I was involved in before I was ordained as a guru. And ironically, the site that we are currently at was the last site where I lost millions to become a guru. And 6 years later, I go back to the very same site, hoping, hope amongst hope, that Mother Lakshmi, Lord Narayan, and my Guru makes this business successful so that I can pick up those millions that I lost there and complete this ashram so that nobody can point one finger at this institution, because it has become a habit of former devotees for giving 1 grain of rice and saying they gave you the entire rice field. So I have been working 12, 13 hours a day. And today I could not manage. And today is the first day that I took rest in 3 months. And nothing I am doing for myself. And I'm setting the precedent so that nobody can point a finger and say the Guru is giving instructions to do this and to do that. and to pay for this and to pay for that, because the Guru has gone to work to show you how to pay, how to do seva, and how to live an absolute spiritual life. There can be nothing more absolute than the example set by a bona fide Acharya. Acharya means an ideal spiritual master who teaches through his own experience. And I hope through this week and through the various challenges that we are faced daily in our personal life, institutional life, country life, universal life, that we use these satsangs to make a change in our life. And if you believe that coming to satsang will change your life without any pain, then you are in the wrong satsang. In this satsang, pain and suffering is one of the ingredients for your spiritual success. Pain and suffering is your foundation for spiritual success. If you came here for a holiday to be served a 7-course meal 3 times a day, your bed made, and Mother Lakshmi topping up your bank account, wrong satsang. Wrong satsang. Yeah, you came for self-realization. And self-realization means pain and suffering. Voluntary pain and suffering is called austerities and penances. Voluntary pain and suffering is called austerities and penances. Ashoka, what you thought when you came to this satsang? Just straight happiness without any pain and suffering? Are there any questions? Let me complete. Can you see Vedic injunctions? I didn't even complete the commentary on the verse. An entire discourse was discussed without me completing the commentary of a verse. And that is called spiritual science. That is called spiritual science. Its depth can never be measured by any human being. He makes those whom he will raise do good things. Does not mean that the Lord himself makes man do good and evil actions, but it means that the Lord favors or rewards those who are resolved to be virtuous by aiding them in this resolve. It means that the Lord favors or rewards those who are resolved to be virtuous by aiding them in this resolve. Natasha, what does that mean? It does not mean that God makes you do good or make you do bad. But if you resolve to do good, then God favors that resolve. The resolution to do good, God favors that resolution. If God favors your launch into spirituality, then what will happen, Amina? You will succeed. God will give you the necessary energy to be successful on this hard and endearing part of spirituality. And vice versa. He makes those who are resolved on evil actions take greater delight in such actions which take them downwards. I want to read this again. He makes those who are resolved on evil actions take greater delight in such actions which takes them downwards. So notice this in our own satsang, those that transgressed, and those that left, and those that try to wage an attack on this institution, then what does the Lord do? He gives them energy to wage that war. And we had a WhatsApp group running for how long? Over 6 months. And they were so happy in that WhatsApp group because God gave them the energy to create a long rope. To create a long rope. Day in, day out. They created the rope. And one morning when they opened their eyes, they found a noose tightened around their necks. And we haven't heard from them. They created their own rope, they tied their own noose, and they hanged themselves. We can't hear from them. They had so many cases against the Guru. And all of a sudden, when Lord Narayan yanked the rope, they disappeared into the air. And this is the crux of the Ramayana, is it not? Is it not? Yeah, this is the crux of the Ramayana. When Lord Ram came back from the forest, what did his mother ask him? First question. Did you kill Ram? And what was Lord Ram's answer? What was Lord Ram's answer? And I've been discoursing this the entire week. The answer was, no, I did not kill him. His lust, his anger, his greed, his pride, his illusion, his envy killed him. And this is why the Guru, in every satsang, asks you to voluntarily give up your vices and your addictions. Because if you don't, what will happen to you in the end? Those vices will hang you. Your own vices will hang you. So when your Guru whacks you, your Guru whacks you your benefit, Natasha. Natasha is hiding in the back there. Like she committed a great sin today. You want to confess?
No.
Want to give a testimony in the front?
No sin committed, Acharyaji.
Oh, okay. Hiding behind Tibeshni.
Tibeshni is
I
fake.
don't know whether Tibeshni's consciousness is permeating on Natasha's consciousness, because Tibeshni's consciousness has been sinful since birth. And one lifetime won't clean it up. And Tibeshni was shocked yesterday that somebody else was Raam and not her. So when the Guru tries to put you right, it is only for your good. And when you transgress, then God helps you to transgress. Who helps you to transgress? God Himself helps you to transgress, so that you can land up in the messiest of places. Nobody, I give you a guarantee, that came to this satsang, transgressed, is elevated to a position that that person was before entering this satsang. Guarantee. If there is such a person, in any aspect, I'll hand over the keys of Sri Narayan Dham to them tomorrow. And that person can have this entire hall, this entire ashram and land for free. Amita, that verse is still not complete. To them, ever steadfast and serving me with affection, I give that buddhi yoga by which they come to me. Those malicious and cruel evildoers, most degraded of men, I hurl perpetually into the wombs of asuras, only in these worlds. So if the daughter is a asura, the Lord put the daughter in the womb of a asura. If the son is a asura, God put the son in the womb of a asura. And that is a Vedic injunction. And that is absolute. And our local actors all get awards. You think we should have an award day? And give all our local actors awards in absentia. They won't come and receive it. Jai Shri Narayan.